Kira. Today I'm going to also make it brief. I'm going to make the readings very fast because I don't have much time. I have to finish some things for work, and I also have to check on my dad every once in a while with the drops, with the eye drops and everything. So my time is limited, but yeah, I wanted to do the readings for the Chinese actors and actresses, and I do have a long list. I'm going to make a clarification now because, you know, I'm watching the C-drama, The Pursuit of Jade, and we know that, you know, the protagonist, and so I'm going to do a reading for the male protagonist, for Sang Liha. Is it Sang or Sang? I believe is it Sang or Sao? I don't remember. I hate it when my handwriting does something weird, that I don't even recognize what I wrote. Yeah, it's Sang Linha. And I'm going to do a reading, a personality, and pull cards for him for the channel in a video because, you know, he's doing very well with this series, with this drama. I'm enjoying it personally myself. So I wanted to dedicate a video for my channel because I don't post that often. So sometimes people, you know, the algorithm, you know, is not really active on my channel because I usually do live streams. So, and I want more people to be able to find my content. So I'm going to make a video for him. So if it helps, you know, to promote the channel better. So yeah, I'm not going to read for him now. I'm going to do the video, but yeah, I do have a long list of other actors and actresses. And so yes, I'm going to do this for them. You know, first of all, in advance, I'm going to apologize for the way I'm going to be pronouncing their names. I'm sure it's not the correct pronunciation. So, but I will add the timestamps so you'll know who I'm talking about. If in case you don't understand, like, what did she say? Who is she talking about? Like, I don't understand what name she said. So yes, I'm sorry, guys. English is not my first language. Chinese is not not even my third language. So I just, you know, and it's complex. It's a complex accent, and there's another pronunciations that I'm not familiar with. So bear with me. But yeah, I will do the readings anyways. And I'm using this tarot deck that it's also very, I believe it's Chinese from what I see. I believe it's Chinese. It's a very anime kind of, because it does have white people. So I don't know. It's like anime slash, but for me, it's like the style is Chinese. See? For me, the style is Chinese. It's just that I don't know why I do have this blonde hair kind of people in here. But well, it's an anime kind of based. It's very odd. It's very odd. Or maybe it's Japanese. I don't know. Probably. Well, it's Asian. Let's leave it like this. It's Asian. So I'm going to take my chance to use it. I'm going to take my chance to use it. Just because it's Asian based. I think that is very fitting for today's reading. It's been a while since I used this deck, so I wanted to use it. Okay, I'm going to start. Thank you everyone for joining, and for anyone that is watching the replay, thank you for being here. Don't forget to like the video if you are enjoying this, or if you're a fan of these people, these artists, and thank you for the recommendations. Okay, I'm going to start with, I believe it's an actor. His name is Yu, C with a Yu, actor. Okay, let's see for him. Yu. I don't know many people in this list, so yeah, then you guys can let me know if something resonates of the reading. Okay, for this actor, Yu, he got the Ace of Cups. We have the King of Wands. We have, in the middle, we have the Strength card. We have the Priest, that it would be like the High Priestess, but this is a priest, it says. Priest. And we have the Six of Wands. And then we have the Page of Cups, that the keyboard says play. So, yeah, I think that, it's very positive, actually, this reading. I wonder if he's like a water sign, or that if he's like a very sensitive, well, if he's an actor, I'm sure there's sensitivity in there, there's artistic abilities. But I think that there's something about him overcoming something or winning something. Could it be that he won like a battle, I don't know what to say, like a battle, but it seems like he overcame something and he's coming back like stronger. We have the strengths in the middle. So definitely, I think that there's something involved in it feels personal, it feels like he's like, I overcame like my own demons, or I overcame my my past or struggles. I think that there's something about like, it wasn't easy, it's not easy, but I think that I became stronger. He also is very powerful himself. We have the Ace of Cups and we have the King of Wands, so I think that probably he is very, there's something about him working with his emotions very well. So I don't know if maybe, in his roles, he has the ability to really portray emotions very well, or he's really loved for the way he expresses himself on the camera or while he's shooting, and he also has like a strong temper. There's something about him also being proud of himself or being proud of where he comes from. There's a lot of resilience. So I think that the cards are more like, I kind of want to show off that this year I'm doing better, or that this year I'm like, overcoming things, that I'm stronger, that I'm stronger, that I'm resilient, that I got this, that I think that he was able to win something, or to overcome something, or to beat something. It's like I beat it. I surpassed this. And people maybe were expecting me to feel sorry for myself, but actually I came back stronger. So there's a lot of work as well. Well, more than work, because I'm lacking a bit of earth here. So I'm like, I think that he is a creator. I don't know if he's like a songwriter himself, or if he sings, or if he, creates poems, or because he seems very resourceful. He seems like, he takes from his sensitivity. And I think that there's a lot of room for new projects, for new roles, I don't know why I want to say music. Is he a singer or something like this? But he portrays emotions very well. And I think that this about him becoming stronger, there's something about this person being like, see, I'm here still, I'm here. And then, yes, we have the high priestess, that in this case, is called the priest. And we have the 6 of Wands. So there's like a victory coming. There's something about like, and also I think that he is being maybe asked, or he's been, reminded to kind of, be humble. Like, don't show your weakness just yet. Just, don't share that much, because we do have the high priestess. So I'm like, there's a victory coming for him, but I think that he is also going to use a bit of hermetism, or a bit of him acting mysterious, or maybe not showing right away his cards. There's something about him maybe eluding, having to answer certain questions, or there's not evidence yet that he is going to make a comeback or something like this. But he's coming back. He's coming back victorious from something. So I think that is positive. And Page of Cups, play. Him also being able to reconnect with his more playful kind of attitude, energy. I don't know, maybe in the past years, maybe he was feeling a bit sad, or a bit, low in energy, and the page is like inviting him to reconnect with the new beginnings, and also, to just play, have fun. You're going to do great. Just connect with your emotions. Like, I think that the emotions for this man is like his fuel. He needs to embrace it. He needs to embrace this. Okay, I'm going to continue with, I believe it's also an actor. His name is Tian Xuning. Tian Xuning. It's with an X. Xuning. Tian Xuning. Tian Xuning. Let's see for him. It's very interesting how this tarot deck, that I don't use that often, but I'm noticing that, certain, especially major arcanas, where it's supposed to be like the feminine version, is called like the masculine version. So it's very interesting. I don't know why they do this. I'm sure there's a reason, but I'm like, okay. But I'm guiding myself for the numbers, and I'm like, that's not right. But okay. We have, for this actor, for Tian Xuning, we have Justice. We have the major arcana number 4, that it will be the Emperor, but in here we have the Empress. So it's like the opposite, the Empress. There's a woman, see, but it's the Emperor. And we have the 2 of Wands in the middle, and we have the 5 of Pentacles. And then we have the major arcana number 3, that this would be the Empress, but we have the Emperor in this card. So it's all in reverse. I don't know why they decided to do this, but well, okay. But we do have the Empress, and we have the whole pair here, the Empress and the Emperor. And we have the 8 of Cups. It says walk away. So, I mean, I don't see suffering for this actor, but I'm like, Another one that I'm like, has he been going through something, like maybe some losses or certain deals or a certain, creation of his, that maybe he's like, he's not sure that it's going to be as prosperous as he would hope for, because there's like the justice is involved, so it feels a bit like uneven, like there's something like, yeah, you participate in this project and it's, we don't have the empress and everything, so it's very stable, it's very well, it's beautiful, everything, but then there's like a change, like a power dynamic that changes. Maybe certain people in power are changed and they change the whole ratings, like somehow the ratings is going to lose a few numbers. So I think that for him, he could take it personal, actually, this, because I'm like, I think that he also knows this, because the justice is like he wants things to be fair for him or for his crew or for the people that he worked for with or for. There's something about him also maybe wanting to defend his work or his art. I mean, and this could be a project of many, because he does have the two of wands in the middle. So there's like, he does have another thing in mind. It's not that he has a single project, he probably has two or more. So he's like looking at the future, or he probably cannot stay that long to somehow defend a project of his, but he feels like there's something that it feels like unbalanced, like, oh, the justice is not on my side, or the justice is not on our side. So I feel a bit like, a bit like people are against me or against my work. But he's very abundant. He's very abundant. Probably he does have opportunities, probably he doesn't run out of opportunities. This is why we have the two of wands in the middle. It seems like he, in spite of maybe, I don't know if he has haters or if there's people that they're like, well, we would prefer someone else. He always has like an extra project, or he has something, to come, I would say. He's never empty. He's never empty-handed. He always has more opportunities, I would say, because he likes to explore his options. He probably is someone that he knows that maybe fame or recognition for him, it feels a bit like, unstable. It feels like there's a polarization in here. There's something about when he does well, he does amazing, but then, when he doesn't do that well, it seems like he has to fight for his rights, I would say. This is why we have the emperor later. We have, the 5 of Pentacles, and we have the emperor. So it feels like, I have to fight people, or I have to stand my ground, or defend myself, or just, just not let them shake me, or shake my foundations, or shake my self-esteem or my self-value. I think that probably there's something about numbers or recognition that probably is not going to do very well, or he's going to lose an opportunity, or he's going to lose in incomes. And he knows this. It's just that he's also very prideful. He's very prideful. I think that this is why he doesn't lose sight of other opportunities. Or when I say other opportunities, it could be different projects. If he is an actor, maybe, he does have another kind of deals that are not acting, but it's other kind of industries. And he's always like looking like, okay, what do I do next? Or what do I invest in? It feels like for him to think ahead is to be safe. And he's always like this. He's very driven by, okay, but what about tomorrow? because I think that, you know, probably he's a very beautiful man, or he's very Venusian. There's something just very beautiful. And also he probably is also very popular, because I do have the emperor and the empress. So there's like a strong aura, I would say, and a strong and assertive kind of identity. Like people know who I am, you know, and they know about my projects, or they know that I'm good. But I think that maybe this year things can get a bit, you know, unfair, or maybe there's something about the projects not being um, that abundant, you know, maybe not being that fancy or that appealing for what people are looking for. But yeah, we have the Eight of Cups. So see, it says walk away. So it's about maybe him. This is why he always has like an extra project, because it's all about this year of like accept that, yeah, this is going to be like this, and probably is going to continue being like this. I don't know what is going on in the industry, you know, with the creation of the projects. You know, maybe it's very competitive. Maybe, you know, there's certain people that they don't want to invest that much. I don't see any specific someone like, you know, creating obstacles for him, but I think that there's something about like, you know, maybe low budget or something like this. Like it starts very promising, you know, and it starts with a lot of like, you know, aspirations, like, oh, this is going to be the best of the best. This is going to be the best thing that you've seen this year. You are going to be the number one, you know. They definitely lift him up, you know, so maybe he is very important, because they do lift his ego up. But at the same time, he's very smart, and he's like, I know that if this doesn't go that well, I just have to turn around and focus on something new. He knows. He's not in denial, you know, he's not in denial about how things are different now. Okay. I'm going to continue with Zhao Lusi. Zhao Lusi, I do remember her. I read for her. She still gets the Queen of Swords. She always gets the Queen of Swords. Always, because, you know, she is very powerful. She's very open, communicative. You know, probably she's not done delivering certain news, or delivering certain statements, or delivering papers. You know, this is just the beginning for her. She's also looking for justice. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. For Zhao Lusi, we have the world card. We have the Queen of Swords. Like I said, the Queen of Swords always with her. We have the Six of Pentacles. In the middle, we have the Two of Wands. And we have the Seven of Swords. And then, you know, from the other deck, I have the card of Page of Wands. It says exploration. So yeah, she's exploring her options this year. It feels like, you know, she's probably, you know, with the world and the Queen of Swords. I think that this has been probably the last couple of months have been very, you know, mentally they had been very challenging. But I think that she stood up. You know, she said what she wanted to say, and she sort of closed a chapter. I think that she is finally closing a chapter. I think that there's something, you know, like I said, when I read for her a couple of months ago, usually she has been getting the Queen of Swords, you know, that it represents her energy. But I think that there's something about her with the World card that she's like, you know, I kind of want to move on from that energy. I think that I said enough, or I think that I shouldn't let past experiences, turn me into a very ice queen, very cold, very rational, very distant, very elusive, not elusive, more like detached. I think that she's like, um, I think that I think that there's something about her being like, I done well. I communicated what I wanted to communicate, or I did, with my papers, with my information. I even talked to people, or my fans, or people that wanted to listen. I think that she had the impact that, she wanted to. I think that everything that had happened with her, and that is still happening, she doesn't regret a single thing, because it's just that maybe, she sort of reviews the ways, and the Queen of Swords usually is very merciless, it's very sharp, and maybe, for Zhao Lusi, there's something about her being like, I don't want to be that cold-hearted, or people reminded me of like, oh, remember, that's the actress that was fighting, not fighting, because I don't think that it's about fighting. It's more about her, defending, or maybe speaking up against certain things, or defending her poster and being very vocal about it, being very honest. And sometimes, people are not ready to listen. They don't want a woman to express certain uncomfortable truths, and she definitely has been like somehow opening up, the Pandora box that, it has been going on for a very long time, and until, she was able to talk about herself and her personal experience. And I think that a lot of people fear her for that. They are like, oh no, there she comes, oh no, watch out, she maybe is going to come for you, because she's like the one that holds the swords, so people do fear her. And what about if she spills the tea about you, because with her, there's something about, you never know, you never know when she's going to strike again. So it is like, I can understand why people find it intimidating. But because, yeah, we have, the Six of Pentacles in the middle. So the Six of Pentacles is about give and take, and I think that she's giving people a situation, she's giving what they deserve. I think that when it comes to maybe work, future projects, she's like, well, I will review this. Okay, okay. I don't know if someone knows if she's going to start working on something new, because I don't see something specific about work. I think that she's exploring her options, but there's something about her being like, if you want this of me, you better be prepared to give your pull of your part, because I will not accept less than what I deserve. So I think that for her, it's like, okay, you want me in your show, or you want to do this with me? Okay, pay me accordingly, or do this in the right way. Okay, I will give you my talents, or I will show up for work, but you put your part as well, because I'm not going to, overwork myself, or just, give you extra hours of my life, or extra hours of my year, even, so you can get rich. There's something about her asking like, okay, you want to put this amount of money? Okay, with this amount of money that you're putting, this is what you're getting of me. Very much about reciprocation. It's like, I will not give, more than what I have available. This is what I have. If you like it, you can hire me. And if you don't like it, well, go find someone else. I think that she's reviewing her options. She's being very practical about this. She doesn't want to overwork herself. This is why I'm like, she definitely is very passionate, about future projects, because we do have the Two of Wands and we have the Seven of Swords. So I think that she's been very, she's definitely looking forward to future activities, but at the same time, she's being very strategic about this. I think that there's something about her, sort of reviewing, exploring, investigating, and more than, okay, I will agree on doing this, it's more like she gives them like hope, like, well, maybe I will say yes, maybe I will review this, or I will see this with my people, and I will get back at you. There's something about her being a bit like, well, we'll see. We'll see. I can see her like this. It's strategic. She's been strategic. This is not personal against no one. It's not that she does this to piss people off. No, she's just taking care of herself. And she probably wants more of something. And maybe what she has been promised is like, I don't see myself doing that. I want something bigger. In the page of 1, see exploration. She's going to continue probably exploring her options, reviewing, asking, maybe her colleagues, if she has friends in the industry, is like, what do you think about this? Give me your opinion. Oh, I got in this script. What do you think about this? What do you know about this director? What do you know about these people? How do they work? What is the ethic of work that they have? She is very intelligent. She's very intelligent, very strategic. Okay, I'm going to continue with, I believe this is an actress as well, Bai Lu. Bai Lu. Okay, for Bai Lu, we have the 8 of Cups, we have the World card, we have the Sun in the middle. She's very popular. And we have the King of Swords, and then the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, I'm going to pull a card from this. Sorry. And she got the 7 of Wands, defense. What is she defending herself from? What is she defending herself from? But she's so bright. She must be very popular, or she must be the protagonist of maybe a lot of C-dramas. This actress, Bai Lu, she shines. She has like a strong aura. She is protagonist material, I would say, always shining. Like she's meant to be the center of attraction, attention, attraction. Yes, everything. 8 of Cups and the World. Was she in a relationship with someone? Or is she? I mean, I kind of think that there's something, that it has nothing to do with work. But I think that there's something about her, finally maybe being able to, again, with the World card, being able to close a chapter in her life, in her emotional life, where she had finally, accepted that, maybe she was in a relationship with someone, that this person is not going to change, or that this is more of the same, or, that it's about you seeing the person that you had feelings for in the past, you seeing them for who they really are, and being able to advance, It could be an ex, but I think that when I say an ex, I think that could it be that she has potentially, there's a lot of people, like it's not just a man, there's a lot of people. And with this, I don't mean it like she is actually true that she dated these people, but I think that maybe she's been like associated, or there were rumors like, oh, she was dating this person and then this person, but they all are very popular as her, because with the sun card in the middle, she definitely is like the sun. I think that people are so interested in her, besides her doing very well in her work or in her profession. Maybe, even her as being the face of, an important brand, or her being the image, or the I don't know, the ambassador of something very important, luxurious. I think that she represents this very warm and positive kind of, like, she gives royalty. Probably she does play the queen a lot of times, or empress or something like this, but I think that she also is very funny. The sun card is probably her ability to be an entertainer, that she really, maybe you are not a fan of hers, but she makes you laugh because she's just so spontaneous. It's like she has different sides of herself, perfect for a star or a movie star, or someone that she could be a model as well. I think that she has it all. And I think that this is why somehow I see this and I'm like, she must be very lonely, at the top, because it feels like, when because she shines so much, she maybe gets a lot of jealousy. Even the people that she dated, or someone that she used to love, they were like, maybe even inside, they were even a bit jealous of her, or of her shining, or of her opportunities, because I think that she has something. It seems like like Leo energy, like lioness, like that person that takes over, and you cannot look away. She's very magnetic, but also she's very human. She's very, yeah, she can be very down to earth as well, or funny, or goofy. I think that it's just that, being this sparkly, I want to say, or being this eye-catching, I think that, a lot of people project their shadows on her, or maybe they look at her that she always looks flawless, or she always appears with a smile, or she always tries to, show her best side, and she keeps working and shining, and people just don't like it. Maybe people would prefer for her to disappear, and it's like, oh, go and be sad somewhere, we don't want to see you. And she's like, no, I have to advance. I don't care if I got my heart broken, or I don't care if I'm going through something difficult. I'm going to show up for work because this is what I do. So there's something about her being very strong as well. But that doesn't mean that, certain attacks do not, offend her, or actually hit her intimately, or very deep, because we do have the 7 wands that is defense. So probably this year, again, in spite of her maybe doing very well, there's something about her having to defend herself against accusations, or just maybe fans or haters. I don't know. I think that her experience being famous is a bit bittersweet. It's not that fancy. We have the King of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles. I mean, if she does, there's something about, if she does like a role where she has like, she is the protagonist, and and there's this her counterpart, like, the male protagonist, or her love interest in that project. Probably, the man is going to get a lot of attention. Probably he's going to get a lot of promotion, or he's going to get more opportunities. I think that for him, it will be, he will be so lucky to work with her, because it seems like he hit the lottery. He hit the jackpot. We have the King of Swords and the Ace. The Ace of Pentacles. So I think that maybe when she has like these co-stars, usually she helps or she boosts these men's careers, probably, and she, I think that she's very generous. She's not like, like looking at, oh my God, that was supposed to be me. No, I think that is because she does a great job. Maybe she has a great chemistry. So there's something about her, maybe, the man that works with her is going to have a very successful year afterwards, or he's going to get more deals. Because I can see, and probably this also shows that there's certain dynamics, or maybe, certain things in that industry that maybe, sometimes, maybe the male protagonist gets more promotion, or they get better things than the female. That can also be. Yeah, because she's going to have to keep defending herself, even though, I think that if this has to do with the past, she's over the past. She's over the past. She was over this a long time ago. It's just that maybe it's people that keep reminding them of, like, oh my God, and they keep mentioning her. But she is, she's her own star. She's her own star. It's just that she's strong. She is a very powerful figure. So yeah, it shows. Okay. I'm going to continue with Tian Xiwei. Tian Xiwei. I believe it's an actress. Tian Xiwei. See for her. Tian Xiwei. Why is she so sad? Why is she so sad? Okay, we have the King of Cups. We have the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Three of Swords in the middle. So why is she so heartbroken? We have the Page of Swords. And we have the Three of Cups. And we have a Strength card that says compassion. Compassion. So yeah, people should be more compassionate towards her. I think that I don't know if people are going to criticize her, or there's something coming. There's something cooking in here, because she comes actually from a lot of success, but in the middle I have the Three of Swords. So I wonder, if there's people online that they're going to criticize something of her, and she's really going to take it to heart, because I don't know. I think that people online maybe are really harsh. But yeah, because we have the King of Cups and we have the Nine of Pentacles. So definitely it shows that, she is surrounded by the right people. The Nine of Pentacles is about her, maybe doing teamwork or working with people that really uplifts her, or makes her do her best or look her best, or there's something about her, being like, wow, I did this, and she's like, she's thanking this King of Cups, that this could be a director, this could be a co-star, there's something about her being, like, oh, it's because, I'm associated to this person and we both did great. So I can see her, maybe winning recognition, or just, feeling very proud of herself. Even when it comes to incomes, there's money, there's, even individual opportunities for her. But I wonder what happened, or what is about to happen, because we have the Three of Swords. So she feels very heartbroken about something. is something going to happen online? Is people going to criticize her online? Or is she going to like somehow, I don't know, maybe say something out of place and people are going to criticize her, or people are going to drag her? Because I have a lot of sorts in here. So I wonder also if she's like an air sign, that she's very analytical, I would say. So there's something about her. Maybe if she does say something, or if something happens and people online keep criticizing her, she's going to feel it, like really, like very deeply again, which is very is very unfortunate, because actually, she comes from this very abundant and like, oh, I feel good about myself. I did well. I felt supported. I felt so comfortable. I made friends. She feels very blessed, I would say, and I don't know what is going on, that she feels a bit sad, maybe, I don't see an ending, but there's something maybe about her. Maybe there's something that is not going to go the way she wants to. I don't know if it's like a promotion, or the possibility to continue working with these people, or continue working in this environment, because it seems like she comes from a project that they really took good care of her, or they really guided her in the best way possible, and she was able to exude this confidence, or was able to work really well because she had the right people by her side, very loving people taking care of her. The chemistry was great. Everything was so comfortable. She had a lot of fun. But now, maybe some things are changing, and now she's like, oh no, I feel so sad. I feel so sad. I feel so heartbroken. And I don't know, maybe she's feeling sensitive. There's something about her being like, oh no, I will not get this again. It's very odd. It's very odd, because I don't see conflict. So when I see swords, I wonder if it's like a misunderstanding online, or maybe she says something and people criticize her for what she said. It could be something just like this, because I don't see like actually a wrongdoing, but I think that she's going to feel very sorry. Very, like, there's a lot of sorrow, a lot of sadness, like a heavy heart, But yeah, then we have the Page of Swords, and we have the Three of Cups. So I think that she, nevertheless, she's going to continue working maybe on something new, probably a role. I think that with the Three of Cups, maybe she's not going to be the protagonist, or she's going to be part of like a trio, like it's like three people, like they are like friends, and then one falls in love with the other, and it's not like there's three people, three protagonists or three different stories, and she's going to be one of those. But in this, it feels more like she's going to be one of the people. Like, she's probably going to get lost if she has like a role. She's going to get lost in the it's like she's not going to be that pushed like the other project. She's more going to be like contributing to the dynamic of, well, this is a show, or this is something that it has to do about friendship, or about collaboration, or about sisterhood. So it feels more like she could get lost in, like, not be the center of attention. She could be, but maybe people will focus more on others, and just a bit not with her. Because probably the role is going to be very detached. Like, there's something about her just having to study her lines very well, and maybe the execution is going to be very robotic, like not so sweet, or I don't know, it feels like a different project, like very cold, But yeah, the strength card, compassion. So whatever happens to her, just people be compassionate with her, be patient with her. She's doing her best. She's trying to create great memories this year. She's trying to remain positive. She's trying to be friends with everyone. And just be nice with her. Be nice to her. Be kind. Like, just, don't push it with her. Just don't push it. people must be awful online about these actors and actresses, because I can sort of see it. Like it could be like something just very small, like a small mistake, but it feels like something, very like um, important. Not important. I mean, like the importance that people online give it, or they talk, or they comment, and they just don't let it go. Okay. I'm going to continue with the actor Deng Kai. Deng Kai. Okay, let's see for the actor Deng Kai. He's very proud of himself also, Deng Kai. A year where he has to take up space, maybe, he's going to get different roles where, he maybe is not the protagonist, but it's like you have your chance. You can actually make a name. Like, I'm sure he has done a name for himself, but I'm talking about this year. Yeah, we have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Two of Swords. We have the Lovers. In the middle, we have the Three of Cups. And then we have the Hermit. And yes, then we have the Emperor that is says take up space. Yes, this is a year for him to be proud of himself, for him to embody this Emperor, this very, commanding, dominating even kind of energy. I think that he should really be proud of himself and just like maybe demand better roles or demand like bigger payments. I don't know. I think that he should just be, he should, have like a boost of confidence, because he probably is very consistent in his work. It's just that, maybe I think that there's something just very erratic about maybe the choices that he makes. I'm not talking about the characters that he plays. I'm talking about his nature. He probably is someone that he's looking for recognition, but there's a part of him that he's like, I don't want to leave my house, or I don't want to interact with, like, I want to do fan service, or I want to meet the fans, but at a certain point, like, I also want to be mysterious, or I also want to keep things for myself. I don't want to show that much, or I don't want to, be goofy or being too available. There's something just about him that he is a bit like, like, I don't like this. I don't feel comfortable with this. I'm an artist. And, and it's like the where he plays the role of an artist is like his sort of playground. But then maybe in his everyday life, he could be a bit of a hermit, because I do have the Hermit here. So he does need, maybe between projects, he does need a timeout, or he needs time to retire a bit. Not retire, but he needs to go MIA a bit. Having the four of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, he usually goes maybe for projects or roles that are familiar to him. He probably this year only, he maybe made a choice that was like, oh my God, you chosen a role that is so unlike you, or this is a role that we didn't expect you to be here, but you did amazing. It's not that he plays safe. It's just that, he has maybe, I don't know, the way he works, or the way he was trained, in the arts, or him being an artist, or him being an actor. There's a system, and the Four of Pentacles is like, I stick to my system. Actually, I go for these kind of roles, or I go for these kind of, events. I play it a bit safe because I like it like this. I don't like to not know where I'm going, or maybe not knowing who he's going to work with. But with the Two of Swords, I think that he sort of went a bit, blindfolded, or there was someone that is like, you have to take this, go and just, go and just launch yourself into this project. And I think that is like a great decision that he did, maybe going for something that is not that conventional. Because we do have the Lovers in here. So see, I don't know if is he a Gemini or something like this? Because it feels like very dual. This is a Gemini card, the Lovers. So he's great at playing these sort of characters that have this duality, this two-faced, this like, now you see me, now you don't, and I think that he is probably like getting more into this part of himself, of being a bit more, taking more risk, and maybe getting into roles that it demands of him, just maybe playing two people, or being dual, or being just those kind of characters that you are in the middle with them, that you don't know if you love them or you hate them. I think that he's great at making people feel that, people feel uncomfortable because they're like, I'm supposed to not like you, but there's something about you that I just resonate. And I think that he's great at, working his way through people's sentiments and perceptions. And I think that he should, kind of like the Joker, he should go for those kind of dark, complex characters. It's just that maybe for him is very demanding to do this kind of work. It's not easy to play to people. It's not easy to be hot and cold, and we see it, and we probably are like, well, yeah. But I think that maybe for someone like him, he would prefer maybe, even, I think that there's also something about him not liking when there's a lot of fantasy in the plot. Could it be that he usually plays roles where, it's more modern, like real life or everyday life kind of projects? I don't know. But yeah, Three of Cups and then the Hermit. I think that there's a celebration, or there's people that they really want to become friends with him, or they want to invite him to maybe party, celebration. It's like, let's go out, let's have some drinks. And he's going to go back to his cave. He's going to go back. With the Hermit, it's like, I need to recuperate my energy. Like, thank you so much, guys, for inviting me. I had a lot of fun. You guys are great, but I need to go back to myself. So I think that he's very peculiar like this. And it's his own process. It's his personal choices and processes. So we should give him room, not debate him, but definitely he made friends, or he made, there's a lot of like expansion, like people really want to include him. The thing is that I don't know if he wants to be included, because there's something about him being like a lone wolf, like, yeah, thank you, but I prefer to be on my own. But yeah, the Emperor, take up space. He is going to have a great year. So yeah, go and collect your prize. Like, even if you want, you have to show up just a couple of hours and then you will go home. But, take up space. You deserve this. You deserve to be with these people. You deserve to be appreciated. So go and do it. Show yourself. Show how hard you have been working. Do not hide. Just show up. Go. If they invite you, go. Go out. Okay. I'm going to continue with Jackie Chan. I think that this is the Jackie Chan, sorry, Jackie Chan that I know. I think that this is the actor that I know. Yeah, Jackie Chan. Actually, my favorite has always been Jet Li. I don't know if he's Chinese, but I remember him in the movies and he was my fave. Okay, a lot of work for this man. Is he working on a new, is he releasing something new? Okay, we have 3 of Wands. We have Knight of Swords. We have the Tower in the middle. We have 6 of Pentacles. And we have Queen of Swords. And then we have, yeah, the 8 of Pentacles that it says hard work. Could it be that there's a project of his that got delayed? Because I do have the Tower in here. So the Tower is indicating a change in the plans. Like you thought that your reality was like this, well, now it's falling apart. Or if you had, you know, a project and you thought that that was ready, it's falling apart. Or there's something that is destroying itself because it wasn't stable. Or if he built something, it wasn't reliable, or it wasn't sustainable, or it wasn't stable enough. So it's falling. It's falling now, or it's about to fall. I definitely think that he is indeed a visionary, you know, with the three of Wands, and then we have, you know, the page, not the page, the Knight of Swords. So I think that he is very ambitious. You know, there's something about him maybe working very fast, or maybe when he wants to achieve something, to launch something, he is very fast to maybe deliver the news, or just talk to people on the internet, or create something for the internet so everyone knows that you're on your way to create something. I think that there's an issue with the cast. Could it be that there's something going on with the cast? Because I have this Knight of Swords and I have the Queen of Swords here. So I'm like, it has to do with these two. It has to do with these two. There's like differences, and these are people that, again, as you know, cards of the court that have swords, they are very communicative. They are very outspoken. They probably will say something. They will communicate something, or they will release a statement. I think that there's like some maybe, you know, differences. It's not emotional, it's not personal, it's more about maybe different views. But I think that is somehow shaking his own foundation or his own reality, you know. Maybe even, I don't know if this is like co-stars. It could also be, does he have children that are in the industry or that are famous somehow? Because I think that there's something in here. There's like a lot of exposure, like, oh, you know, I'm telling you that this project of him, it didn't go well, or it's not going well because this happened. A lot of people are, you know, that I think that these people represent others, not him. I just think that for him it's like, I think that he knows that eventually certain deals or certain things, they were going to fall, because it feels like it was supposed to fall, or maybe to destroy itself a long time ago, but it was just surviving, but it wasn't stable. Yeah, and then from the part of this woman, we have the Six of Pentacles and we have the King of Swords. So she's like somehow demanding like maybe a fair treatment, or she's demanding money. She's like, you didn't pay me, or you didn't pay me enough, or you didn't give me what I think that I deserve. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of work to do. Maybe he wants to release something. Maybe it's not this year, or it's going to be delayed, or something is going to happen. Because the good thing is that with the Eight of Pentacles, I see that he's going to continue working or investing in this. It's just that it's going to take a while it's going to take a lot of effort to rebuild this project or rebuild his career. I don't know. I think that it's going to take a lot of money, a lot of resources, but also a lot of eyes on the detail, a lot of like restructuring, or just having people that they really know what they're doing, because I think that he's very passionate for creating things for the future. Maybe he believes that people really want to see his future projects, but there's something that is just not stable in his life. I don't know if it's his reputation, or if it's his popularity, or if it's his own body himself, that he's not feeling that well. The thing is that I don't feel him. I think that there's others in here. There's like this guy here and this woman here, and I'm like, there's one of them that is dissatisfied and they're going to speak up. And like, you promised me this, but then you didn't deliver. And he represents the chaos, of the tower. Like, oh my God, this has my name, and this is what is falling, or this is what is being destroyed, and it has my name. There's something about him being like, this is my pride, or this has my brand. So for him, it feels like, it's important. Okay. I'm going to continue with, I believe it's an actress, Yang Xi. Yang Xi. Let's see for her. The page of swords today, like what is going on with these people and social media, or maybe what they say is very criticized or is very exposed online, or people just talk about them like, oh, did you see what he said? Like something like this. Yeah, for this actress, for Yang Xi, we start with the Fool, we have the Lovers, we have, the Ten of Swords, we have the Page of Swords, and we have the Death card. Never major arcanas. But she definitely, she's going to move on, definitely. Like, even like moving on literally. I don't know if she's going to move out or she's going to, go live somewhere else, but it feels like she needs a transition. She needs to go away, or she needs to change locations, or she needs to just, maybe she has to end the project. But I don't know why I don't see a project here. I think that is more like her personal and spiritual process. Because I have the Fool and I have the Lovers. So I think that she also, maybe the beginning of this year, she was, very much determined to, start over, to maybe, adventure herself to do something different, create something different, maybe associate with different people. But I think that also the conditions were, it seems like she had to make a choice, and she maybe wasn't sure, or the others weren't sure as well. It has to do with associations as well. But there's something about like, oh, you say this thing, or you promise me this, and then you don't sustain it. It's like you are lying. And the Ten of Swords in the middle, she has been going through something, very painful, or maybe it's her feeling sorry for herself for past situations. I think that she hasn't had it easy. Her mind, it's like it seems like she punishes herself very much. Like, when I don't know if these people that talk about her or about her decisions or about her life, but inside she has been struggling. I don't know if it's like having depression or just feeling just literally very pressured by what people say, what people comment of her. And I think that people are very maybe focused on, I don't know if it's her dating life or it's her past choices, or maybe it's like, oh, but you didn't choose right, you chosen this and this is not good for you. And so I think that she tried a lot of times to reinvent herself or maybe come back differently, but probably it's going to take a while, because she has to release all this sorrow, all this pain. I would say, I think that maybe part of this year is about her being able to release the suffering, just stop torturing herself, but just feel the emotions, feel whatever you want to feel, or just if you want to feel sad, just go ahead and feel the emotions, but at some point when you are ready, when you are like, I'm done feeling sorry for myself, get up and finally, move towards making this transition or this change, because I have the death card. So definitely the transition that she has to do is it cannot be just a simple change, like, oh, I'm going to change this. No, she has to transform herself completely, and she has to shed all skin. She has to be irrecognizable if she comes back, because there's something about words. I don't know if she said something, or people are fixated on, like, oh, when she said this, or when she did this. The Page of Swords, we have the death card. So there's something about, like, probably also don't announce it. Don't announce that you're going through a transformation. Just go through the transformation yourself. Just, do what you have to do to be okay, to not be a prisoner of your past or of people's criticism, and just, this is not about starting over, because maybe, when we have the Fool, the Fool sometimes it's an attempt of like, okay, I will do things differently now. But I think that for her, the change, it has to come from within. It's very personal. She has to have like somehow like a detox, I would say, because it feels heavy. It feels very heavy. Her reading feels very heavy. So I wonder if what she went through, because I think that 2026 is still a year where she's still, somehow maybe hang up with the pain. But she has to let it go. She has to let it go, and somehow let it go. To let go of something for her, it's not that simple. It's not that easy. But yeah, we have the Six of Swords, transition, probably, changing locations, traveling, just go somewhere else. Just don't stay where you are, because maybe that place has like memories or something like this. But yeah, the change is very much needed. Okay. I'm going to continue with this actor, I believe, Xiao Zhan. Xiao Zhan, I also recognize his name. I have read for him a couple of times. Again, another man that is looking for justice. Is looking for balance. Yeah. he also went through a lot, like mentally, I must say. But he is like, he's at the end, the final stages of suffering. His suffering is going to come to an end. But is he in a legal battle with someone? Does anyone know? Well, if you do, let me know. Yeah, we have the Two of Swords. We have the Fool. We have the Justice in the middle. We have the Three of Pentacles. And we have the Ace of Wands. And then we have the Ten of Swords that it says endings. Endings. This is very similar to the prior lady actress that I read a couple of seconds ago. It feels very similar, the vibe. I don't know if they went through something similar, like a scandal or something like this. But I think that, yeah, because he also see with the Two of Swords and the Fool, he also, at some point, he probably, had done certain attempts to be better or to feel better or to start over his career maybe, or to do things differently. I think that he tried a lot of times. Maybe this year he's like, well, I will try again. But I think that things get very confusing for him. And maybe at the end, he also doesn't know where to go, or he doesn't know what is the right move. What do I choose? Because I feel like I'm blinded. I feel like I cannot see my choices. I feel like I'm defending myself, but what am I defending myself for? It feels like he's like chasing a ghost. He doesn't know where to look. It's just that he feels uneasy. He feels like, do people persecute him? Does he have like stalkers or something like this? Because I think that he had tried so many times to reinvent himself or to start over. And there's something about him being afraid, probably. Like, oh my God, is someone following me? Oh my God, is someone, he feels very unstable like this. And this is why he has the Justice, because I think that he's like, I need the Justice to step up. I need the Justice this year to do something for me, because I cannot protect myself. But probably the Justice is going to be important for him. The Justice is going to be important. But also I think that the Justice is a way of reminding him that he has to remain balanced, that he doesn't have to lose his center, that he has to stay strong, firm, and believe in yourself, or believe in your side of the story. If you know that you've done things right, you don't have to fear no one. So, just stay centered and wait. That whether this is like literally the Justice, or if it's like, divine justice, is going to come this year. It's going to come, it's going to liberate him. And he doesn't have to defend himself that harsh anymore, because he feels very persecuted, especially mentally. There's something about him being like, I think that I saw someone, or I think that I'm not alone, and it seems like, it messes with your mind, obviously, and he feels very lonely. And this sabotages his future projects, of course. But then we have the Three of Pentacles, and we have the Ace of Wands. So could it be that he wins like a legal battle and that he wins money? That he gets like maybe like a financial compensation or something like this? I think that there's people that, but there's also like more like job opportunities, more like people really coming to offer him like maybe bigger roles or like more important roles. They are going to come to him. He will not have to reach out to anyone for work this year. This is going to come, a very important group of people, and they are going to want to have a meeting with him. And we have the Ace of Wands. So it's going to be a very passionate beginning. I would say even like a comeback. I don't know how long it has been since his last project, but it feels like very passionate, very fiery, and I think that he definitely needs these kind of shows. a show where maybe, yeah, he has to use his body more instead of, having these maybe characters that is more like mental, or the character that probably, oh, he's like the smart one or the intelligent one. And here is more about masculinity. It's more about, yeah, him being masculine, him being a warrior, or him being an emperor. But it seems like it's going to appeal to him. There's something about this role that it has to do with, let's wake up the fire in you. You need to break up the fire again. And also, probably, if he has like martial arts, or if there's some heavy physical demanding kind of role, I think that for him it's going to be the best, for him to move his body, to use anger, to use passionate emotions, strong emotions, intense emotions, like get angry at people, get fired up. I think that he needs more fire in his life, because he has been stuck, emotionally. We have the 10 of swords, endings. I think that for him, he had been, a bit fearful, a bit tired, a bit, unmotivated, maybe. So I think that he needs to have this kind of project that they are like, okay, let's go. You have to train. Wake up your body. You have to train. Don't think about anything. And maybe they're going to also move him to another location, or a place where he feels like he can be more free, and a lot of money also. Money. So good for him. I like it. Okay. I'm going to continue with this actor, with Wei Long. Wei Long. Let's see, Wei Long. Wei Long. Okay. Okay. Temperance for Wei Long. 3 of Pentacles. 8 of Wands. There's news coming for him. Yeah, we have the Justice, and we have the Fool. Why is the Justice so involved with these people? We have the 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands, that is his burden. So see, he also has been carrying something, like a burden, like maybe unfinished business, or maybe people just, maybe it could be legal battles, because we have the Justice again. So it's like, I cannot have, a sort of a new beginning until I don't settle these things right, or until I don't get the justice on my side. I think that there's something about them waiting for justice to be done in their lives, for them to advance. I mean, I think that when it comes to work and association, with the Temperance and the 3 of Pentacles, I think that work for him is definitely very healing. I think that he is a great team worker. He's very hardworking, but he's also, someone that probably he feels better when he's working, or when he's collaborating with someone. He probably also worries about, money, or about incomes. So, maybe he takes like sort of partnerships, or collaborations, or work that it can allow him to keep being active. Maybe it's not always like, oh, because I'm playing this role. It's more about him also being humble, and being like, I just want to work. So I will take, the opportunities that I can get. And maybe he also has a good reputation with people from the industry, so they call him. They are like, do you want to come and collaborate with us? Do you want to come and do this with us? And he's like, okay, I will be there. And I think that for him, it's like, it's like a perfect balance. He just loves this. He loves this. It's he probably went through something also. Like, I don't know where he comes from or what his background is, but I think that he probably needed a time out also. But yeah, we have the Eight of Wands, so there's going to be like news coming about him. Maybe a new project, but I think that also there's something about justice in here, about things being fair, justice and the Fool. But the good thing is that a new beginning is coming. A new beginning is coming for him. This is the positive thing, that probably he's finally been able to see, to be like, okay, I'm starting over. This is like my chance. I'm starting over. But I think that first, certain things or certain matters in his life, they have to accommodate. So I wonder if this is about a contract, if this is about papers, if this is about deals. I don't know, but I think that you will find out, very soon, because it seems like news are running, are going to come instantly. Maybe I'm saying this now and it's going to happen like the day after tomorrow or something like that. So if you are fans of him, pay attention, please. But Ten of Wands, burden. See, he had been carrying with something. He had been carrying. He probably had been surviving even like in the industry. I don't know if things got complicated or if the work load had been a lot for him, or if there's something that an issue, something that had took a toll on him. Because I think that first of all, he's not a quitter. He's not a man that he's like going to cry about this and be like, oh, because I'm so tired. No, but I think that maybe, in the past couple of months, there's a sense of, I feel tired. I feel like I'm carrying with a lot, or I'm taking a lot of responsibilities that is not for me to take, but I take it because I just cannot turn my back to this. I have to be responsible. So I think that sometimes maybe in order for him to keep working or to keep advancing, maybe he takes a lot of responsibilities so he can help others. I don't know. But I think that yeah, this maybe he needs to get a certain message, or there's a message coming, or there's a confirmation or something that is coming that is finally going to give him this ability to maybe drop a bit, the burden, and just feel a bit more like lighter and not so heavy, because it feels like this. I don't know what is it, but it feels like this. I don't think that it's people talking, but there's something. There's something that it feels heavy. Okay. Going to continue with Dylan Wang. Dylan Wang. Is he getting married? he feels luxurious also. He feels also like a champion, or maybe he's a very famous, protagonist. So, the eyes are on him, luxurious, everything. He probably plays the roles of people's husbands or rich husbands or something like this. Okay, for him, King of Swords. We have the page of Wands. We have the 10 of Pentacles, rich, the Sun, and we have, the 5 of Cups. Yeah, he's also someone, he sort of reminds me of the reading that I did for Bai Lu, I guess, Wheel of Fortune, cycles. That, and also the card of cycles, I think that these people, especially the ones that maybe are very much like loved by the audience, or they are so popular, or they always have these great roles or these great deals, and everything about them looks fancy, and just people, admire them so much because they irradiate this sort of confidence. I think that there's like an up and down about this. This is why we have cycles. There's moments where they are up here, and they are like probably the most popular, and everyone is obsessed with them, but then they go down. And I don't think that it's about them literally like going down in their careers. I think that it's emotionally. It's about them maybe being, at the top of their careers and actually feeling very lonely inside, or feeling very misunderstood, or feeling like, they missed very important personal moments, or they probably, I don't know, they don't do very well in personal life matters, because they are so successful that maybe people think that, oh, he must have a great life because he's so handsome, or she is so beautiful, and they project a lot on these people, especially because they are really good at showing you this sort of, larger than life energy. So you look at them and you think, oh, it must be really nice to be them, and I see the cards and I'm like, these people are so, sometimes they regret so much their fame, because it's like once you are being put in a sort of pedestal, you cannot come down in there, unless something happens and they throw you down. But I think that there's a bit of, once you are very high up there, there's like a sort of like void. There's something about like, okay, is this it? Like it doesn't represent like happiness, like fulfillment. It's just that, is what I do for a living. If a character of mine gets a happy ending, it's not that I get a happy ending. It's my character the one that gets a happy ending. I think that it's very interesting, seeing the King of Swords and the page of Wands. I think that does he have like a sort of, very maybe beloved kind of, chemistry with a female actress, that they just bicker a lot, or that they fight like siblings, because people love them. They love them. And he loves, probably not in love, but I think that he loves to work with this girl or this woman. And they are a great duo. They are like siblings, I would say, because both of them are very outspoken, and maybe they fight on camera, or they argue on camera, and it's so funny. And they are friends. They are really friends. They have a similar character, so they are really friends. It's not romantic. Actually, both of them are very similar, so it would be a bit impossible for them to date, because they have the same energy, so they will be fighting all the time. But they are hilarious. People love to see them together, because they do bicker a lot, and she's very courageous also. She puts him in his place, and he's also very, very funny. But yeah, we have the 10 of Pentacles. I think that this year it's a very successful year. I don't know what he has been doing, or if he's about to, release a project, but I think that it's going to be very abundant. It's just going to be very luxurious. I think that probably anything that he touches is his legacy. He probably, maybe his management or people that work with him or for him, they really are really good at managing him. That's what I see. So if he has a brand or something like this, he's doing very well this year. He's very stable. He's very stable. He's very, he represents good things, and I think that this is not random. This is not, oh, he's so lucky. No, this is maybe the work of his people, or the work of his brand. Is him, and if he has a team, is him and his team. I think that he's very stable in this sense. And yes, we have the Sun card, and we have the 5 of Cups. See, he is going to be, very publicized maybe, or he's going to be participating on a lot of shows. You're going to see him exposed a lot, having fun a lot, making people, smile and laugh. He's very funny. I don't know if you guys, if you're fans, just let me know if this is how you see him. But he seems like he's very outgoing. Like he just goes. He's not that picky about projects. He's like, okay, you want me to participate in this, and I will go. I will go. He's not like, oh no, that place. I'm more important than that place. No, he's very playful, and just people love him so much. It's just that, with the Five of Cups, there could be a bit of insatisfaction. There's a role or something that he's going to miss, or he's going to feel a bit regretful because he's like, that role was supposed to be mine and I didn't get it. And I kind of feel sorry that I didn't take it. Because probably it's going to be huge. But he's like, but I'm doing well on my own. He doesn't need it. But there's something about him being like, I kind of want it. Why did I say no to that? Him feeling a bit regretful. But he has it all. He has it all. And also, Wheel of Fortune is about cycles. And I think that literally the card says cycles. I think that is life. There's something, that I feel it here about him, that, his life is about cycles. So, while you are up here, having a good time, just take it, take it. Just appreciate it. But that life goes on, and there's going to be moments where he probably is going to feel a bit sad or a bit like not so motivated or not so sure of himself. And that's also part of life, that there's nothing wrong about that he should appreciate when things go really well for him. And then, once, things accommodate and maybe things slow down in his life and he's not that active, that he should also, stay and just stay with those feelings. He probably is someone that he's super energetic and he doesn't know where to stop, or he doesn't want to stop, or he wants to be active and he wants to do a lot of things, or he wants to do a lot of businesses. And I think that the Wheel of Fortune is like, just go with the flow, keep moving, but don't chase anything. Because at the end, if he keeps chasing like recognition and fame and more fame, he's going to fill the void. He's going to fill the emptiness, because nothing will ever be good enough. I think that there's something about him, he needs to slow down and just sit with his feelings and just like be satisfied with what he has, because he does have a lot. He does have a lot. Thank God, he seems to be very abundant. So no one is taking that from him. But I think that, he also should know when there's like, high seasons, and when there's seasons that maybe you just need to rest and you will be fine. And nothing is going to interrupt. It's just that probably, he does feel a bit lonely. So maybe being busy is a part of him, keeping himself busy here, so he doesn't recognize that he's actually feeling very lonely. Or maybe that there's something that is troubling him. Okay, I'm going to continue with the actress Esther Yu. Esther Yu. The world today, the card of the world, it came out a lot. So yes, very nice. Okay, for her, we have the Seven of Cups. We have the Emperor. We have the World. We have the Six of Swords. And we have the Judgment. Is there criticism towards her? And we have the Four of Wands, that is a homecoming. Yeah, I think that again, this is, this is why I'm feeling the fame here, and I think that she's a very well established, actress, artist. So there's something about, like, you are excellent. So maybe she has built an stability or a stable career for herself. So she does have a lot of opportunities. Sometimes she doesn't know what to choose because probably the projects are more of the same. So it feels like there's moments, with the four of with the emperor or the empress. Sometimes she can feel a bit overwhelmed because she does get a lot of propositions, or she does get a lot of opportunities, or maybe people are like, oh, but you should take this role and then take the other role, and she's like, but it's more of the same. But at the same time, having the empress or the emperor in this case, um, she has a sort of like impact. So maybe she cannot, maybe disappoint fans, or there's something about her being like, I have to take one of those. I have to take an opportunity because, if I don't, people are going to talk about me, or they're going to be like, okay, where is she? But I think that there's like an excess of possibilities. That I think that when you get a lot of opportunities, and it's like a lot, but at the same time, quantity does is not equal quality. So I think that probably what she's been, offered is not quality. It's just like, yeah, we will give you a role so you can keep, your fans satisfied, or so you can keep, being working for us because you do very well, and we want to see you, or we want you for this role. So I think that for her it feels more like a pressure, rather than, I enjoy this, or I feel so identified with the role, this is why I chosen this role, because it feels like it touched a part of myself and I felt so emotional. No, it's more like she has to sustain this sort of authority that she has, because she's sort of, maybe she's, I don't know if people know, you guys let me know, but there's something about her having an authority in the industry, or maybe she's a very well known actress, so there's a legacy, there's a name, there's a brand to sustain. So sometimes she's like, but what you're giving me, it seems like it enters because the Seven of Cups is very Pisces, so it's giving like, probably they do give her these roles that, as the time passes, they get more Delulu. It's like the plot gets all the way, in the Delulu land, it just goes all the way, and it sounds ridiculous. Maybe the roles that they offer her is like, they are too, like, who is going to get identified with this? Who is going to be like, oh, I love watching this? If it's like a fairy tale within a fairy tale, and another fairy tale and another fairy tale, it's like, how many fairy tales do you want me to play? I think that probably she wants like more serious roles, and somehow there's a certain image built around her that maybe they don't let her, get more like a different, she would want to pick something else. It's like, but at the same time, she's like, I don't want to say like, oh, all of these options suck, but it's like more of the same. It's not that good as they say. Probably they promise her, they are like, oh, if you take this role, this is going to be the hit of the year, and she's like, no, it's not going to be the hit of the year. Yeah, we have the world in here. So she's this year in 2026 is she's slowly also closing a chapter. Maybe she's also, I don't know how old she is, but maybe there's something about her finally also wanting to put an end to an era of hers. It's like, I'm sort of done with doing certain things. I want to change. I want to change in my trajectory. I want to change in my career. I want to choose things differently. I'm bored. I'm bored. And I think that she has the authority to say hello, I'm bored, because she's not an amateur. So maybe they will listen to her. Yeah, because we have the Six of Swords and we have the Judgment. So definitely she's probably going to, go through a change, or maybe she's going to go for a project that is very different from what you know of hers. But people are going to drag her. People are going to criticize her. We do have the Judgment. It's just that I think that people are waiting to criticize her. People just want to criticize her. So it's like anything, if she does this or the other, she's going to get criticized. But for her, it's a huge possibility, for her to go into a different maybe genre or a different territory, doing things differently, working with different technology, working with different people, working with strangers even. I don't know why I want to say like even foreigners, something like this. But I think that she definitely wants this. And she knows that potentially, the Judgment is going to come. But she's like, I cannot stay the same forever. Like, I want to do something different. Yeah, and we have the Four of Wands. That is his homecoming. So I think that, the criticism will be there, people judging, pointing fingers always. But I think that she has a good foundation. I think that there's people that love her. There's people that really want the best for her. And she also wants to connect with excitement, with celebration, with, concentrate on the people that really want the best for her and just pay attention to them and be in gatherings or celebrations with these people, with these people that have high energy, that are optimistic like her, that are happy like her. I think that she's like, well, the people that love me are going to appreciate what I'm doing, that I'm trying to bring you guys something different. And I want to get out of my comfort zone. But I think that she, the happiness you will not take away from this lady. She's going to be happy. She's going to continue. She's going to be happy. She has the right people on her side. She probably has like a loving family or a loving team. She's not alone. Thank God, so, the haters are just going to hate. Thank God she doesn't need them. Also, she, with the Four of Wands, I think that she's very. It seems like her spirit is also very, very optimistic. She's very smiley, or she's just very, she has like this high energy. So I don't know why people are so negative. Okay, guys, I'm going to continue with Jackson. With Jackson Wang, because he's an Aries and no one recommended him yet. Or I believe that if someone recommended Jackson, well, I didn't read for him the other time when I read for Aries artists, but now I'm going to do this. I'm going to include him. He's going to be the last one. So yeah, let's see for Jackson. Let's see. Jackson Wang. Lot of Pentacles. Lot of Pentacles for Jackson. Wait, guys, just in case. Okay. Okay, for Jackson, did I say the cards? Okay, I'm going to say them again, just in case I did or I didn't. Two of Swords, the Tower, Ace of Cups, Five of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. And we have the Two of Pentacles, that is his priorities. I think that there's something going on with Jackson's assets, or his company, or his expenses, or his money, or his his money. I think that this year he should be, very very selective about where he puts his money, honestly, because I think that there could be potential losses, or he has to pay people, maybe like, certain payments being delayed and he has to pay them. So I think that he has to organize himself very well with the money that he has, because I don't see abundance. I see a bit of inconsistency. I think that he can recuperate a bit, but only if he remains, if he has his priorities very well organized, because probably, his economical side, or his, there's something about his money that is not that stable, is not going that well. Literally the Two of Pentacles priorities. So it's about you, working with what you have. Do not want to, do something crazy with the money, because it's not going to duplicate. But yeah, I think that definitely, this is a year that probably, there's something about Jackson being able to take his blindfold off, from about maybe situations, or about, past maybe businesses, because the Two of Swords and the Tower. So there's something about his stability, or something that he has been avoiding to see, or avoiding to face, or to confront, or to take care of certain matters. Somehow the Tower is like, well, you are running out of time. You pretended for a while that you didn't see what was wrong. Now it's falling apart. Now the foundations is falling apart. Now there's people that they used to work for you, or now they're disappearing. Or there's people that used to call themselves friends, or now they're gone. So, these are consequences. I would say these are signals of, I don't want to say signals of the universe, but it's like it was bound to happen, because these connections weren't that stable. They weren't the truth. That they weren't that stable. So, what is not stable, or what is not truth, is going to fall, or is going to disappear from your life, or is going to be destroyed, or you are going to destroy even like friendships, or, past connections. You are going to fall out with them, because I think that he's finally getting out of the confusion that sometimes he probably gives people second chances, or he gives them more than second chances. He gives them a lot of chances, and people keep disappointing him. So I think that even though it hurts, is part of a sort of like rebirth, and the Ace of Cups, is about him. He has a lot of love to give. He's a very abundant person. He has a lot of, ability to love again. He has a lot of place for love. He's very sweet. He's very abundant. This doesn't mean that he's going to stay, being sorry. No. There's a lot of potential. There's also a lot of potential for him using these opportunities, or these sort of disappointments in people's situations, being able to transform this into a work of art, him being able to create art, or create, write about this, or create his new songs, new material from, these sort of realizations that he's having about certain people, and certain realities of his that are no longer working. So I think that everything is available, and he's open to receive this. I think that I see a Jackson that is more sensitive now, is probably a bit more open to, maybe in the past he used to want to fight the reality, or he used to get really angry and be like, why people are like this and why this cannot be like this. And now he's like, no, I just take it. Okay, this didn't work. Great. Move over. I'm going to keep being this vessel of love. I'm going to keep trusting. I'm going to keep giving love to the people that deserve it. I'm going to keep bringing love to my audience. Like, I'm not going to close off. I'm not going to get cold. I'm not going to get mean. I'm not going to get like sorry or sad, or no. This is a period of rebirth for him, and it's a period of where he's taking everything in. He's taking, these whole experiences. He's taking it like, okay, there must be a reason. He's feeling very sensitive also, but he has plenty of place for compassion, respect, and he's not fighting people. He's like, okay, we want to go that way. I still have a lot of people that love me. The Five of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles. Yes, I think that it's also about, self-value. I think that, the Five of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles it has to do, I think that, this can happen to a lot of us, when when sometimes people treat you nice because you buy them things. So for you, it comes to a point where you sort of see it like love language. You're like, well, they are my family or they are my friends. So yeah, I will give them money because I have it available and they need it. So for me, because I love them, I will give them, or I will buy them what they need. But now he's starting to realize that, if those people really loved you, they wouldn't be asking you for money. If they really were your friends, or if they really were your loved ones or your family, or they wouldn't be asking you to pay things for them. At least not at the amount of, maybe there's an amount in crazy numbers that he had paid, crazy amounts for certain people, that now that he's like, I don't want to say that he's going to be broke, but now that he's going to be lacking a bit, he's going to start seeing like, oh, so I was paying them to love me. Like, their love cost me money. And this is, again, the Six of Pentacles. That is about you realizing that you don't have to do extra for someone to love you or appreciate you. Just because he's a star and because he's famous and because maybe he has, his career, or he has, people that he knows from the industry, and a lot of possibilities. These possibilities and this fame and everything that he has is his. He built it himself. He is the famous one. So I think that is about, like, don't give everything of yourself. Don't empty your pockets to fill other people's pockets. Don't do that. Don't exchange money for love. Just, if they love you, if they accept you, if you want to give them a gift, do it, but not to a place where you are paying them. You are paying their debts. You are paying their, it's getting out of hand. So it's about learning that love is reciprocity, and that yes, you can be famous, but you are a person. So love is paid with love. And if you want to be generous, you can be generous, but it's also part of the other person's good values or goodwill to be like, thank you for the gift, I got this, or I got my money, or thank you, you helped me pay this, I will pay it back when I can, or no, don't give me that much of your money, I don't need it, thank you, I'm okay. Or if you're going to give me money, please give me a job or give me a role so I can pay you, so I can repay you, even with effort, with my time. there has to be reciprocity. There has to be a give and take in his relationships. It's not about him, paying everyone and then him being penniless himself. And then people probably getting offended when he says, I don't have it, because I think that this is what is going to happen. He's going to start to notice that he doesn't have that much. And he's going to be like, but where is it? Well, it is with other people. You paid a lot. And a lot of these people, they are out of your life already. So it's about like, don't confuse. It's like money, is a sort of language. Money is like water. What you give is not just like, oh, I'm paying you this. It's like, it's energy, it's time, and when we think about when we love someone, we do it because we love them. We are not with them because you're famous, I'm staying next to you. No. But yeah, I think that this year is about him balancing his priorities, him choosing well, him, also going through the numbers. I'm sure that he's a very intelligent man. I know he will take care of this. But please don't give more money to people. Just, keep it tight. Keep it to yourself, save it, invest it, do what you want to do with the money that you have. But please don't do it. Don't give it like away, please. Because this year he's going to have to be strategic about this. Okay, guys. Hello. No, someone said hi. I'm sure that you guys are no longer here now. It's been 2 hours. But thank you guys for stopping by and saying hi. I know I didn't stop to respond because I was in a rush because, I'm busy, but I wanted to come here to do these readings. I'm going to put the timestamps of, the people that I read for today, because I'm sure that when I said the names, I didn't, my pronunciation is not the best. So you're like, who is she talking about? I don't understand. Okay. And, I'm going to try to upload the reading that I'm going to do for Sandinha. So I'm going to put it on the channel in the format of the video. So maybe it can reach to other people and it can help me boost my algorithm and maybe, it can help my channel to grow. But thank you so much, guys, for the recommendations. I had a lot of fun. I'm sorry that I'm in a rush like this, but yeah, this is what I have available. My priority is my dad, and my dad is okay. I have to take care of my house. I have to work and I have to feed my cats, and everything is up to me. I'm the lady of the house, now that I have to take care of my dad. But I think I got this. I have been doing, I believe, a good job. But yeah, I cannot hang out like I usually do. But I wanted to deliver the readings nevertheless, because I don't like to have you guys waiting. I love to be very, consistent and organized with the readings. Thank you so much for waiting. And I'll see you probably on Sunday. So hopefully, if everything goes well, I will have a bit of time to rant or to talk with you guys about whatever is going on in K-pop. So thank you so much for watching and have a lovely week. Bye.